With the Melbourne Festival of Racing a little over a week away, we're going to catch up with Steve Moran and find out his early predictions about the horses you need to follow throughout this peak time of racing. Steve, thanks for joining us. The sprints are always a real focal point over the Festival of Racing. 4 Group 1s. Can anything beat Black Caviar?
Well, I don't think so. Certainly not at any set weights race. Major handicap like the Oakley Plate could be different. Will Peter Moody runner there? We're not sure at this stage. I do think the form that we saw from Moonee Valley around Whitefriars undeniably and Typhoon Tracy will hold up. I think Whitefriars is probably an underestimated galloper and undeniably is untapped. Level weights, set weights, Black Caviar, she's just far too good.
All right, you touched upon Typhoon Tracy there. We saw her win the Aura and the Futurity, the Group 1 double last year. Can she go back-to-back?
Well, I would think so. She's probably looking the best credentialed 7 furlong miler in the country at the moment. And I thought her first up run was satisfactory under the circumstances. The tempo didn't really suit her. We'd like to see one of the 4-year-olds emerging, but I suppose the problem we're looking at Melbourne in the autumn, we've got so many good 4-year-olds, a great crop, but a lot of them are having light autumn campaigns, looking more towards next spring. That might play in Typhoon Tracy's favour.
And the longer wait for age focus, of course, is the Australian Cup. Horses heading through the St George and the like to get there. Who wins the Cup?
Well, you've probably got to say Zipping, haven't you? The 9-year-old, in the absence of So You Think, probably the best horse in Australia. Certainly the best horse beyond a sprinting distance. You look at his past 4 2,000-metre runs, of course, they've just been absolutely fantastic. Second in a Cox Plate, winning the Turnbull, winning the Australian Cup, first horse home, first older horse home in the Cox Plate the year before. Looking for one at left field. I wonder how Once Were Wild might come up for Gay. I remember her very nearly winning the Australian Cup with Winning Bell, who bumped into Makybe Diva in 1:58.7, if you don't mind. I think Once Were Wild could be the wild card. And the other horse, who might be a wild card in the Australian Cup, might be the Guineas horse.
Yeah, of course, now being run a week after, so there's that opportunity for the Guineas horse to get there. There's a couple of them have been nominated, including Star Witness and Anna Cheever. They're the early favourites for the Australian Guineas. Who's your tip?
My tip is the filly. We can say it now.
The Kiwi.
The Kiwi. She is an absolute ripper. By Starcraft, of course, who ran second in the Guineas to reset. That was a very memorable Australian Guineas. She won the Levin against her old age at the mile last time in, then went to the Captain Cook 2,000-metre weight for age race, beat the older horses. I think she's a ripper.
Well, there's an early prediction for you. The filly to upstage the boys in the Guineas. What about in the Blue Diamond, the 2-year-olds? We've seen some form now. We've had the previews. Is it the fillies or the colts?
Not sure. From what we saw in the preview, I think Sepoy was dominant. I couldn't see any of the males that finished behind him turning it around. The fillies was more interesting. One Last Dance was good. Jessica Rose, Anave and Grasscop were all terrific. And in fact, I think Anave was a great run, did all the work on the speed. They went pretty hard. I think the 2-year-olds might be a little bit more open. I know we're only 3 weeks away, but it wasn't that long ago that we saw horses like Redute's Choice and Road to Success emerge even later than this. So it's a bit tricky with the 2-year-olds.
Oh, he sat on the fence there for the Blue Diamond. Well, that's been Steve Moran's early predictions for the Melbourne Festival of Racing. Lots of great racing coming your way and a few early tips for you. Have a look at those fixed odds markets and good luck if you're having a punt.